Hey everyone, today we're going to unlock a really fundamental Python tool, one that saves programmers a ton of time and headaches, the range function. Seriously, if you've ever needed to create a list of numbers, you're about to meet your new best friend. Let's dive right in.
So you've been there, right? Especially when you're starting out. You need a list of numbers, maybe just 1 to 20, maybe 1 to 100, and you just stare at your keyboard thinking, oh man, am I really about to type every single one of these out?
And you end up with something that looks like this on your screen. You know, it's slow, it's super tedious, and let's be honest, it is so easy to make a typo and mess the whole thing up. Can you imagine doing this for a list of like 1,000 numbers? No way. There has to be a better way, right?
Well, you'll be happy to know there absolutely is. Python, being awesome, gives us a really elegant and, efficient solution to this exact problem. So it's time to meet the built-in range function.
Okay, just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got the old manual way, and on the right, the range way. See how much cleaner that is? How much more readable? Instead of typing every number, we just tell Python where to start and where to end. It's not just about looking better. This is way more efficient, especially when those lists get long.
So, what's the official definition? Well, at its core, range is a built-in function, and its whole job, its entire purpose in life, is to generate a sequence of numbers for you. It's simple, it's powerful, and it is perfect for creating lists of numbers whenever you need them.
To really master this thing, we've got to understand the simple controls behind the magic. You see, range works with up to 3 pieces of information, or parameters, if you want to be technical, that tell it exactly what sequence of numbers you want it to make.
And here they are, the 3 controls. You've got start, which pretty obviously is the number your sequence begins with. Then there's stop, the number where your sequence ends, but there's a huge catch here that we're going to talk about in just a second. And finally, you have step. That's the increment. It tells the function if you're counting by 1s, 2s, 10s, whatever you need.
Okay, listen up because this is the big one. If you remember only one thing about range function, make it this. The stop value is exclusive. What does that mean? It means the sequence goes up to, but does not include that final number. This trips up pretty much every single beginner, so let's burn this into our brains.
Let's see this rule in action, because seeing is believing, right? When we write list of range 1-6, we're basically telling Python, hey, start at 1 and stop before you get to 6. And look at the result. You get the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The sequence stops dead in its tracks right before it would hit that stop value of 6.
Now let's bring in that third parameter, step, and have some fun. Let's say our goal is to create a list of just the even numbers up to 10. The code for that is list range 211 2. So let's break that down. We start at 2, we stop before 11, and we step or count by 2s. And boom, the result? A perfect list of even numbers, all from one little line of code.
Okay, so making lists is fantastic, but the real power-up, the place where range truly becomes a superstar, is when you use it to drive your loops. This is where it goes from being just a handy shortcut to an absolutely essential programming tool.
I mean, just think about it. How often in programming do you need to do something a specific number of times? Maybe you need to process 10 images, or send 5 emails, or just print hello world 3 times. Well, range function is the perfect tool for controlling that repetition with total precision.
And here is the classic example. This line, for I in range 1 to 6. It's like an instruction. It's telling Python, hey, I want a loop, and for each trip through this loop, I want you to give me the next number from the sequence you get from range 1 to 6. So what happens? The loop runs exactly 5 times, and the variable I takes on the value 1, then 2, then 3, 4, and finally 5.
All right, that was a quick but pretty powerful tour, right? Before we wrap up, let's just summarize everything and lock in the most important points from this little explainer. So, what do you really need to remember? First, range is your go-to, your #1 tool for creating number sequences efficiently. Second, you control it with those 3 simple parameters: start, stop, and step. Third, and this is the one to tattoo on your brain, that stop value is always exclusive. It doesn't include that number. And finally, its true power, its killer app, is using it to precisely control your for loops.
Look, at the end of the day, range isn't just another function to memorize. It's a fundamental building block in Python. It saves you time, it makes your code way cleaner, and it gives you this amazing control over repetition. So the real question I want to leave you with is, now that you have this powerful tool in your toolbox, what are you going to build with it?